I am obnoxious to each carping tongue who says my hand a needle better fits. A poet's pen all scorn I should thus wrong, for such despite they cast on female wits. If what I do prove well, it won't advance. They'll say it's stolen, or else it was by chance. Poet Anne Bradstreet wrote those words almost 400 years ago, yet in them, she perfectly captures much of the sexism that has been plaguing American literary society and, consequently, the literary canon for generations. Since then, such famous writers as T.S. Eliot have claimed women were not worth printing. And as recently as 2011, V.S. Naipaul wrote, quote, I read a piece of writing and within a paragraph or two, I know whether it is by a woman or not. I think it is unequal to me, all this feminine tosh, end quote. Thanks to this kind of lingering sexism, many women have been left out of the literary canon, disappearing from our collective consciousness as if they had never been. As a result, in one 1990s literary textbook, women made up less than 20% of the curriculum. And in a 2015 play anthology, that number was as low as 6%. Missing Pages is designed to help change that. Missing Pages is a free online database and resource for educators dedicated to the preservation of women's voices in literature and their further integration into the literary canon. Here, we understand both the importance and the challenge of bringing these writers back into classrooms when many modern educators, through no fault of their own, don't even know their names. That's why we've done the research for you, documenting over 60 women writers from 4 centuries, 5 genres, 6 historically underrepresented groups, and 25 states and territories, all organized into this one website for your easy access. Let's take a look at how it works. So from the homepage here, you can navigate to any of the tabs listed at the top of the screen. This includes where our writers are organized by time period, by genre, and by historically marginalized group. So for example, if I were to click on the by time period section, that would open a drop-down menu where I could choose the century I wanted, for example, 19th century. And then it would load a list of profiles of women that fit that criteria in the same streamlined format that you'll find across the time period section, where the biographies for these women are located. So let's take Suisun Phar as an example. First off, you'll of course see the woman's picture and their name on each profile. Then directly under their name, you'll find a list of categories linked where they can also be found on the site. Under the Who Was She section, you'll find a brief biography of the women. And this will include any of their achievements, any awards they won, general outlines of some of their work. But one thing you won't find here is many or sometimes any mentions of spouses or children, as these biographies are specifically designed to highlight the achievements of these women, not their romantic partners. Under the biography section, you'll find the What Did She Write About section, where we list common topics that these women explored in their work. And under that, you'll find the Where Can I Find Her Work section, where we provide you resources for where to access each woman's work, including public online databases for public domain works and stores where you can purchase their work. Now, this last section we designed specifically for educators, and it's called the Tips and Resources for Educators section, which can be found right up here. And essentially, this is a curated list of tips and advice, activity ideas, online tools, worksheets from educators and experts in the field of education to help aid in this integration process in your classroom and in all educators' classrooms, because we understand it is a delicate process. And we want to give you as many resources to help with that as we can. Because ultimately, the goal of this website is to help diversify the literary canon, to preserve these women's voices, make sure none of them are forgotten, and take a step toward helping to ensure that every child, no matter where or who they are, is able to connect with literature and see the diversity they see in themselves and in society reflected on the page and in the materials and writers they study. In this particular project, we're specifically focusing on US authors, but we highly encourage this diversification on a global scale for all canons. Thank you so much for listening, and let's integrate.